Sleeping on the blacktop.
Sleeping on the blacktop's a good one.
Yeah.
Kate McCannon.
Oh yeah, I can play that one too.
That's probably my favorite one, man. I love that.
Yeah,
one.
I can play that one too. I love a good murder ballad.
Oh, dude, we're just gonna kill a chick. When I first saw the dude, I was like, no way he sings this.
Bitch deserved it. Oh, dude, his voice does not match his physical at all.
87 pounds.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Sounds like he's been smoking for 87 years. Yeah.
Deeper than cash. Like, come on.
For sure. Anyways.
Makes me want to drink whiskey.
Onward, Gary. Onward.
You ready to roll?
Let's go.
Don't talk about it, be Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever the fuck you're watching this episode. It's another episode of the Blitz, brought to you by the boys here at Backyard Sports Media. We got the whole gang with us, and love to see you guys back. Let's start with the let's talk to the returner here. Kind of ghosted us last week, but we're not going to hold it against him. Andy, how are you?
Man, what's happening? I don't know. I wish my Lions could fucking score and win.
I know, dude. Yeah. Let's just start this off with a fun stat. Number one in scoring offense, right? And last defense in the league.
So I said I was at the pub last week. I said to people, Lions got to be number one in the league in scoring. Got to be close to the bottom in points allowed.
Yeah.
And I had people like, the Lions can't be number one in scoring. I was like, bro,
confirm.
They were behind the Bills 2 weeks ago, so we'll see by 1 point. Yeah, fucking crazy. There's been one team that's done that.
Yeah, and they managed to put up some big points with St. Brown being out of the game. Hawkinson had himself a fucking day, dude.
Yeah, I played against him in fantasy.
That's a tough go. My man put up big points. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Gary, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to talk. Pretty crazy weekend with some interesting developments. Not as many upsets as the week prior, as we'll see with our records. We're a little better this week, but excited to talk a couple big matchups that didn't necessarily disappoint. We learned a few things about a couple of teams here, so
let's jump into this week's review. So we need to start off with this one, and I'm glad we are. So Andy on the island, stick with Miami, doesn't come out with the W here. And the Bengals beat Miami at home, Cincinnati being at home here. First off, the icy white jerseys are too much.
You didn't like them?
They're too sick. I love them.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're so good.
I think they're my favorite uniform in the league.
The white.
I haven't heard a person who dislikes them yet. Yeah,
nah, dude. And I think that if you are against these jerseys, then you support ISIS. I've said this before on the show. This is another kind of character trait that we need to be looking for as Americans. Senior, good to see you as always.
Or you're a Browns, fucking Steelers, or Ravens fan, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably fair too. I mean, that's kind of low hanging.
Browns are eliminated for Brown EDL. So
I don't. They're nuts, man. Just the helmet. The helmet alone is
the helmet's so sick.
Who doesn't like the Bengal Tiger, the white Bengal Tiger? First of all,
oh dude, white tiger, come on.
I love them.
Yeah. So, definitely a game to talk about, right? Tua, this whole Tua situation is a fucking nightmare in and of itself. And I guess we can go ahead and jump into kind of the severity of that. Gary, I'll just go ahead and start with you. What are your takeaways from this game for Cincinnati, as well as what the path looks like moving forward? It looks like Tua is going to be out this week, which is a week too late, and probably a game and a half too late, really, if we're going to think about this correctly.
Yeah.
So what are your takeaways from this?
Yeah, I mean, I detect no lies in what you just said there. And, real quick about the Bengals, and I know Tua was kind of the thing we're going to focus here, but I liked what I saw from the Bengals. Offensively, it seemed like the line was getting better. Still some times when Burrow was under some pressure, but he was able to hit his receivers, make some plays. They scored enough points to win the game. The Tua situation is it's not good, right? And I think anybody with eyeballs knew Tua had a concussion against the Bills. And I don't know where it broke down in the process. I know that doctor has been relieved of his duty. The NFLPA enacted a clause in the CBA that they're able to relieve these doctors if they see something that looks like malpractice or failure or mistake, right?
Right.
So
Now,
players
to be
safety,
clear, this was not a team doctor. This was an outside consultant.
It's right. It's an independent neuro specialist. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it broke down in the process. We can all speculate, like the team put pressure on them, the coaches, the league. Nobody's supposed to be able to put pressure on these neuro specialists that are supposed to be completely independent. It was supposed to be a way for the NFL to say, we care about concussions. This is a black eye. This sets back all of the concussion talk, 15 years probably? Like this situation, this can't happen because this guy could have died on the field. Like that's how traumatic this brain injury was. And I'm basing that off of doctors posting things. It's on social media. Maybe they're being hyperbolic, but he didn't look good. It looked like his motor function was shutting down. It's not a good look. If we don't hear more about this, it's going to feel like the NFL has made this doctor the sacrificial lamb, and they're going to sweep this under the rug because somebody lied in the process. Somebody believed that lie or perpetuated that lie. Tua was able to go back on the field against Buffalo. They're goddamn lucky he didn't get tackled again in that game and get a concussion back to back like that, because that could probably be even worse than. I mean, it was pretty bad, but seeing him laying on the field like that, it broke my heart, right? Yeah. For a player to be laying like that, not to absolve Tua of all culpability, because if you get your bell rung, I know it's a big game, I get it, but all of this, and you've got a family. I think he's either engaged or just newly married. This sucks all around. I don't know where it broke down in the process, but the process isn't working. If this is the result that we get from the process that the NFL put in place to counter all of the lawsuits.
Right. Andy?
I agree with you, Gary. I agree with the majority of everybody who's saying like the concussion, it was a thing. I tried to dabble this week in playing devil's advocate while saying let's play devil's advocate. People don't understand what that means, first of all. So I'm looking at a lot of you guys out here on Facebook. People don't understand what devil's advocate means. There's no appreciation for the term. A. B. I want to like go into something like this. So we say Tua gets fucked up, right? Gets banged up. I think the unaffiliated doctor, the one who was fired, is completely thrown under the bus, no matter what, right? Because the team doctor holds a little more grit to the team, to the league, yada, yada. So that's paperwork, filed under. B, my big thing was I said to a lot of people, I said, listen, because I saw a lot of people being like, that's a horrific injury. I've never seen anything like that. Yes, you have. You've seen it a lot. Happens all the time.
In different sports.
They call it the fencing position. The fencing,
fencing reaction, I think they call
reaction. It. So the response is what it is. The fencing response.
Right.
So you've seen it plenty of times. If you haven't, then okay, you haven't. That could have happened from that play on its own. That was my only beef. Like, that was the only thing. Is that was a good hit. It was a whirl around, got tossed.
A lot of momentum.
I agreed 100%. I never won't agree that it was a carryover from week 1. But people have to like learn to live in a fucking gray area here. Where this is planet Earth. This is the NFL. But that aside, Miami's in fucking trouble. Like their physician is in trouble. Their coaching staff is in trouble. Ownership, GMs, president. Like
Mike McDaniel keeps doubling down too.
I hate
you have
like,
to.
bro.
You have to though. What are you gonna do
Now at this point? I guess.
What are you gonna do now?
But wow.
What are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
because
No,
you
right.
played.
I mean,
a
I
role
think
in that.
I think that you can present a viable amount or a minimal amount of accountability while still not doubling down.
At
Like
least some
I think
contrition, right? Like, hey,
exactly.
maybe we made a mistake, but
This
to
man
double
is
down and
speaking.
say he
This
cleared
man is
protocol,
speaking with
like,
conviction about something he
Right.
is clearly wrong about, and that's the thing that bothers me about it is the doubling down there. I mean, he's a cog in the wheel, man, and he's a cog in the wheel that is the fucking problem.
the last time I remember on a football field, and maybe there's been some sense, but the last time I remember a reaction like this, you guys remember when Anquan Bolden got fucking destroyed by the Jets?
Got his face broken. Yeah.
Kurt Warner hung him out. That was the last time I remember a football player like going into essentially like rigor like that and having a similar. He didn't have the exact fencing reaction, but he was in a world of hurt. His jaw was broken after. Andy, I think you alluded to it briefly, and Raul, weigh in on this. Like, it's clear that this was exasperated by week 1, correct? Yeah. Like, we're not trying to say like he may have recovered between Sunday and fucking Thursday.
Yeah,
and there's no connection.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, this is yeah.
Sure. I like, part of me always wants to like dissect every situation. I want to be like, hey, look at it from a Sunday didn't exist.
Yeah.
Can that happen? And because I see, I saw a lot of spectators, a lot of fans being like, I've never seen such a thing. And it was like,
he could have gotten his tits lit just as bad
like that. Like,
and it be completely an isolated incident. But the fact that it happened the week prior tells me that you know, and that's ultimately what it is. Even if you remove week 1 out of it, it's true. Like week 1 removed, it totally could still have happened exactly the same way. It's happened. I mean, we've seen it where Devontae Adams fucking gets absolutely lit up by, I think it was a Chicago defender, and Mouthpiece continues to go on for, you know, you remember, I don't remember who that defender was. Trey something. Anyways,
I just wanted to like, I want to open up to people like
Trevathan.
That was while the hit, because I feel like people see things black and white. They see like a big impact.
Yeah.
And that's not always what does it. Like the whipping around and the skull and the helmet.
Whiplash,
basically.
He slingshotted him into the ground.
Right. It's your brain hitting your skull.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your skull hitting the helmet, the brain hitting in turn. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate that motion. They're like, well, I saw so get hit.
There's no give on those fucking synthetic turf fields either.
Right.
Well, that's another thing for another time too. Yeah. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. sounded off on that. So
yeah. All right, so let's jump back into these. We got a few of these that we were all pretty victorious on. Some of these no-brainers. Tennessee taking on Indianapolis at home. They're taking the W. Buffalo moving on through Baltimore, and you know, decent show of effort there from the Baltimore offense. You know, I think that Buffalo needed a good bounce back game given the prior week, and this was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, they couldn't be 2-2.
Las Vegas no longer putting the loss in Vegas, finally getting a nice little W there against Broncos country. Let's fucking ride on down to the bar and drink the sorrows away. I was on an island here against going for New Orleans. This was my any given Sunday pick. I was wrong. The double doink, and what a fucking that sucked, man. Because I thought I was gonna walk away from this island with a W. But anyways, Also picking Chicago, and also wrong there. I'm pretty good at being wrong. So, Chargers at the Texans. Chargers getting a good win there. And we can talk about the Texans all day, but I just feel like they're so close to being good, and we'll get there eventually. But
they're never they're not a rollover team.
Yeah.
At all.
You're gonna have to put forth your effort for sure.
Yeah.
The Chargers needed that win though. That was like a win they had.
Absolutely, 100%. They needed a good.
There's ever a must win in Week 4. That was it for the Chargers.
Absolutely. Sure. Arizona beating Carolina at home. Gary not walking away with this island win here, but I mean, JJ Watt's got to be the big story there. Goes into AFib. Heart stopped, has to get shocked, and then he has to go pour this shit out on Twitter to beat the fact that someone was about to leak the story.
Well, because the world's just operating around him.
Yeah.
Right.
No idea.
Here we are.
How about the fucking reporter after the game, too? He's in the middle of an emotional, pouring his heart out. I just had a baby. My heart stopped. Like, this is bigger than fucking football. And the guy goes, and you got that swat at the end of that tipped ball at the end of the game that sealed the deal. Like, dude.
Hey, my guy, read the fucking room,
Shut
dude.
the fuck up.
You know what I thought was the best comment was as he's in the middle, like he's just trying to collect himself. And you just hear somebody quietly ask him, you ever think about stop playing? I mean, because it's a legitimate question, especially, I mean, the man had to have his fucking heart shock to be able to continue to operate at the elite capacity that this man does and to live. Yeah, absolutely.
I struggle all the time, not just with athletes, but like with a famous person in general.
Yep.
And I catch a little anxiety over this. It's so fucking weird because I don't put myself in the position very often. But like, I feel like if I saw a really famous person, even one of my heroes, I don't even think I'd want to bother him.
Yeah,
like at all.
I would
like at all though. Like I don't like I would regret it after the fact though. Like if I saw like one of my favorite celebrities, like say at the airport, I don't even think I'd want to bother him for like I might want to be like, hey, what's up? But like I don't think I'd want to autograph or a picture. I would want the shit out of it.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I would feel like I was burdening that person.
You'd feel like a complete asshole.
Much.
Yeah.
Like we as a society, we don't feel that way though. We feel like not only do we not
they feel entitled
way,
to
we feel above that way. Like we feel like
it's owed to us.
Not only do I not want to bother you, but like you owe me.
Yeah.
Like your minute. It's so
I'm entitled to your time.
I fucking hate it so much. It really does. Like every time I travel, I'm like, fuck. If I see somebody, I fucking like. God forbid if I ran into like Matt Stafford, I'd just be like, fuck you, dude. I'd be so opposite. I'd be like, you suck.
Just go the complete opposite.
I just like fucking roast him and stuff. He gets lost.
Oh
shit! Be so bad, dude. I don't know.
All right, so Dallas taking home the W at home.
How do you feel about that, though? Real quick. Come on.
About what? About Cooper Rush?
A guy at work was there. He went to the game. It was kind of
about Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
About what? About Dallas beating the fucking Commanders? Like, I'm not worried about it. Like, it could have been it's a division rivalry, so it could have been any fucking outcome, period. Like, it doesn't matter how bad the Commanders are or how bad the Cowboys performed. Either one could beat each other. So, I mean, I went with who I thought was clearly the better team.
Let me real quick, Brian, I got to shout you out. You were at the game. You made the fucking the travel.
You flew to Dallas for this?
Well, you had the tickets.
That's fucking
a long time ago.
Man,
I mean,
for a Commanders game,
picking on my work. I
was
was like, listen, bro. I was like, how you feel now? You got tickets and Dax out. But no, listen, man. He's older. He's semi-retired. He fucking
Cooper
that was his bucket list. He worked at UPS for 30 years. That was his thing, man. Like,
yeah.
Shout out to him. He looked happy as shit to see a mid game. Good job, Bri. We kind of like you.
No, I mean, I don't really have any takeaways from the game. I'm glad that we walked away with a victory. I'm curious to see when Dak is going to come back. I don't think that he's in any risk of fucking losing his starting position. I think that we've been fortunate that Cooper has performed as well as he has. I think that he gels well with the offense. They seem to be doing okay. Like, again, I'm very impressed with what we've done, with what we have, but you know, for me, like, you know, I've talked to my good friend Hector about it, about the Cowboys, and ultimately what I'd love to see is I would love to see Zeke and Dak get traded away to create cap space, pick up somebody else, and I'd like to see Sean Payton at the head coach position.
You could do that with that. You can't trade Zeke though.
He'll be up at the end of this year.
Yeah, you can't trade Zeke. It's too late in his career.
No, I mean,
nobody wants him.
That's fine.
They don't like
running
backs are fucked. I mean.
Then
not
wait,
to say, not
I
to say he
don't
doesn't
care.
have value.
Like, we've given all at the end of the season, we will have given him all of his guaranteed money. Let's fucking be done with this, okay? And I'm not saying that we even need to give. We don't even need to give Pollard the RB1 position. I don't think that he needs to continue to be this like fucking, you know, this standout bell cow. But we need someone else as a part of this 1-2 punch. Pollard's not going to be an RB1, but I'm very impressed with what he's capable of doing, and when he's splitting touches with Zeke. I just don't think that Zeke is anywhere near where he used to be, and he'll never be there again. So,
it's been in the league too long. That's his window passed.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into an interesting game, a good game. So, Philly walks away with the win at home against Jacksonville, and I mean, we've talked about it for the last couple weeks now, but Jacksonville's looking fucking fantastic, dude. They're looking like they've got a shot. The Eagles are looking pretty solid. Jalen Hurts is looking to be the truth. What will happen if Dak struggles? I think that if Dak struggles, I think that they will be a lot less likely to continue to keep him in the game. I don't think that they're going to hesitate to bench him. I don't. I think 1 or 2 game struggle, we're going to see Cooper get the start.
Yeah, I worry about like Dak, and I was going to interject, but I know we wanted to get to the Jags-Eagles game, but like that game played out like it should. Cooper Rush managed the game. The defense played well. Washington's offensive line is a fucking disaster. They don't know how to fucking protect Carson.
Trayvon Diggs is actually the fucking real deal. I want to hear that from you.
No, he's
I want to hear
not.
that from you. No, he is the real deal, and I want to hear that from you because he is the fucking real deal.
No, he's not.
Scary Terry got shut the fuck down all game.
That was not Trayvon Diggs. He covered him like 6 times the whole game. Let's pump the fucking brakes on that.
Ain't no brakes to pump, baby.
Is a shit show.
Diggs is out here getting it done.
No, negative.
He shut it down.
Negative.
Even the great Richard Sherman paid those props.
Hard stop.
I mean, I think just killing McLaurin these days is pretty.
Yeah.
That's Scott Turner's responsibility.
Okuda did that too.
Yeah, that's Scott Turner's responsibility. Anyway,
right.
I worry when Dak comes back. What I do worry is that he presses because of all the praise that Cooper Rush has gotten. All of the talking heads saying Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback of the future for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How much does Dak press? 1, to come back from the injury too soon, maybe, and 2, when he does get back in the starting rotation or starting spot, does he press and struggle?
Yeah, does he overcompensate?
Dak Prescott's at absolutely zero risk of losing his starting job. Not whatsoever.
Yeah. I agree.
Because
if you're hearing these things, it's hard not to let it creep into your head.
It doesn't matter what you're hearing because I'm not here to like disagree with what you're saying. I'm here to disagree with what you're saying. Like, I think that Dak Prescott presents a show.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones loves a show.
It's a shit show. Yeah, it's a show.
This guy can throw for 400 or 500 fucking yards
on this season of soup sandwich.
And that's I feel like that's what they're into. I think Cooper Rush can quietly win a game while Dak can loudly lose a game.
Yeah.
And
is Cooper Rush the best backup quarterback in the NFL?
No.
Okay. Then I mean that's kind of my argument to anybody.
So we also
talking
have
about
to present who is, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's honestly, I wanted it to be more of a rhetorical question.
That was the first time somebody ever asked me that, and then was
no,
like,
but honestly, like you didn't even really have to fucking think about it because you know he's not the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So anybody that's following this hype behind Cooper Rush, if you cannot honestly say that he's the best quarterback or the best backup quarterback in the NFL, what the fuck makes you think he deserves a start at one of the 32 teams in the NFL?
Nah, he's okay.
He's good, no doubt.
Offense. He's got
he's
control
done
of the
great.
offense. He knows that offense. He's
yeah,
fine.
and I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a good one. He's just not QB1 in the NFL worthy, period.
Sure. Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Right.
So, all right. So let's get back to Jag and the Eagles. So Jags, Eagles look to be the real deal. Jalen Hurts looks to be the real deal. And you know, continuing signs of life here from Doug Peterson and the Jags offense. So, Gary, let's go to you.
Yeah, I like what Jacksonville's doing. I think that they're going to be kind of a borderline fringe possible playoff team this year. I think they're gonna sneak up on a lot of teams this year because everybody saw what the shit show was last year with Urban Meyer, and Doug Peterson's not playing those fuck games that Urban Meyer did last year. They've got talent on that roster. They've been drafting high every year since fucking 1905. So they've got talent on the roster. Doug Peterson looks like he's starting to put together a culture there. He's got them playing hard in games, and Trevor Lawrence looks like he's starting to grow. There are times when he still looks like a second-year quarterback, but he is growing, and they've got sneaky wide receivers there that can make some plays. Christian Kirk, I know everybody ridiculed the contract, but that dude's like first or second in the league in fucking touchdowns coming into week 4. I know he didn't score last week, but he was coming into week 4. He was like first or second in the league in touchdowns. So they've got some options there. So I like what Jacksonville's doing. They're on the upswing. Will they make the playoffs? We'll talk about that later in the show. But looking at Philly, there's one thing that concerns me on a 4-0 team if I'm looking ahead to what the obvious connection is going to be, right? NFC Championship, Super Bowl, right? Are they contenders for those? There are times in every single game that they've played this year that they fucking disappear on offense. They scored 24 points in the first half against Washington, 0 points the rest of the game.
Against everybody.
Again, essentially every game, right? But this game, it was they came out of the gate slow against Jacksonville and then scored 29 unanswered fucking points. So it's really weird that, you know, with in they did the 24-point thing 2 weeks in a row. I forget who that was. It Detroit? It wasn't the Detroit game, right? Because that was a high-scoring game. But either way, Minnesota.
They're scoring more points in the first half than a lot of teams are scoring in the game.
Right. Yeah. Minnesota. It was Minnesota, then Washington. Back-to-back weeks, they scored 24 points going into half and had 0 points in the second half. So I worry about that if I'm looking at Philly in December, in January. That's my concern with them. They've got to figure out how to play a 60-minute football.
Long-term stamina, deep in the season.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a completely logical concern.
Yep.
100%. Andy, you're muted.
Oh, hold on.
Shit froze. I was my concern with both of these teams was
fucking Windows XP.
Really, it's fucking Windows fucking
3.1
HP, but I was I had the same concern with both teams, and that was who have you played? So a good buddy of mine's a Philly fan. He was really impressed, and I was like, Bud, I like it, but you played the Lions, the Vikings, the Commanders, and if you're the Jags, you've now played the Commanders, the Colts, and the struggling Chargers. Like, I have to say the struggling Chargers because they finally seem to be getting it right the last couple weeks.
They played Herbert right off his broken cartilage, too.
Sure. So now this was kind of the test for both teams, right? Because the Jags came out and they kind of jumped all over Philly.
This island was feeling real good for about 12 minutes.
Beating them up a little bit. And
I was watching this in awe. He's actually going to do it.
This was my side view game. Like I had the Lions here. I was watching the Bills game over here. None of the Bills fans were. They all left before halftime. Promise. Swear to God.
Guaranteed.
All of you watching this, 15-20 before halftime, all gone in a Hornell bar, Hornell, New York. So some of you watching were there. So so I'm watching it over here, and then I'm watching the Philly Jags game over here, and I got a buddy right to my left who's a Philly fan, so we're kind of paying a little attention. I'm like, man, this is kind of the test for both teams.
Agreed. By the way, official Red Hood.
Absolutely, bud.
Is that your Insta account or your Twitch account?
Yeah, I'm Kevin Durant you right now. I'm KDing you guys right now.
My man's on the burner Twitch right now.
Because 46 beers deep, I have that kind of
dexterity.
Oh,
let's be honest, Andy doesn't know what Twitch is.
Yeah, I've never been to Twitch before. Jesus, isn't that what you do when you've had too many beers? So they,
I have.
Philly Jags face off. The face off we didn't think we'd have, right? Like
right.
And Philly prevails, which they should have.
We're entering with a fucking 5-1 record combined.
Philly looks so tough, and again they played three real.
Oh god, I can't wait for mine. It's gonna be the fucking negatives, dude. I feel it.
Played three real schlubs. Played a team that seems to be good, and in Jacksonville we can say the same about. So I mean, we have to see what happens. 4.1. That's fucking shit.
I'll take it, dude.
That's okay though.
Oh, dude, I have nothing. Yeah, that's real bad.
Listen, it's all right. I'm gonna send you some product.
I got that Native American in me, dude. I'm barefaced.
That's what they all say. So it was. Listen, we had a good game though. So, well, I don't know what the rest of their schedules continue to look like. Obviously, Philly plays the Cowboys, the Giants, the Commanders, and the Jags. They've got it kind of easy too, but. Yeah, we could be talking two playoff teams right here, right? I mean,
so question for you two: after seeing Derrick Henry seemed to wake up a bit this weekend against, mind you, a Colts team that hasn't looked good, but Jags, Titans, which trajectory do you like right now for the rest of the season?
Got to be Titans, right?
It's got to be the Titans because we haven't seen any kind of longevity out of the Jags.
Yeah. Okay.
I think even the diehard Jags fan would be okay with us saying that. They back us up. Henry's looked good 2 weeks now. 2 weeks in a row.
That's true. He did have a pretty good week the week before. He had a really good week this week.
He woke up.
Yeah, this was the good confidence builder that he needed, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, on to Cleveland at Atlanta, and against my better judgment here, Atlanta walks away with the victory at home. And moving to KC, this was a fucking weird game, dude. And you know the recent news that we've seen of the Brady Giselle possible hiring of divorce attorneys, it looks like it's coming to an end. My boy Tommy's married to the fucking game.
Giselle looking bad anyways. Fuck
Kansas City.
Time to trade her in for a younger model.
She ain't even looking good, man.
Listen, Tom Brady takes an L to both the game and he takes an L to the net worth as he loses an estimated $400 million in net worth. We're getting rated now.
Not a Nats fan over there.
On hats. Top left, dude. I agree with that. Top left 2 out of 10. That's facts. It's the bill, right? It's the bill. Red Hood. Let me know. It's the bill. Yeah, that bill is it's
a carryover.
It's crazy, dude.
Yo,
Gary,
you
of all people have the fucking MAGA curve to your hat for sure.
Gary gets a hat.
10 out of 10 people that have fucking worn a hat with a curve on their bill that much is sent.
Gary grabs his brim and says, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
Anyways,
for no good fucking reason, I
can't do flat.
Red Hood, thank you for the compliment on the hat.
Bro, it don't even need to be flat. It doesn't. Shit looks like
it's a baseball carryover, man. It's always been this way from Little League all the way up through.
I don't know, man.
No, we know, dude. We know.
She looks like the opening of colors. Looks like the opening of a tent.
So DiCaprio,
and not just cigarettes, dude. Marlboro Red 100.
Brady's
not even fucking Marlboro.
DiCaprio.
He's not even going name brand. Reminding you of cigarettes. These are fucking
USA Golds.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Brady has been talking to DiCaprio. We hope.
Anyways,
back on track.
Okay, so KC wins against Tampa Bay. What an odd game for Kansas City for starters. What a we saw one of the most fucking Patty Mahomes plays we've ever seen, right? The scramble, the last minute, little fucking layup into the end zone. That was hilarious. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? I feel like he was, I saw a whole bunch of people that were fucking starting shit about that. I feel like he was close, no doubt. But I mean, I watched the replay five or six times.
They were probably Bills fans. They were probably real.
I think you just have a vendetta against Bills fans, and that's fine.
They have a vendetta against every AFC team that isn't the Bills. So
they should.
Status quo,
as they fucking should.
We're keeping it gangster. So that was a weird game. I think that was a game Mahomes needed, though, right? Like that's the anti-Tyreek game.
We're getting fucking flamed in the comments.
Throw a bunch of balls to your running backs. There's a lot of 5'8" guys catching over the top passes that probably aren't possible without an elite quarterback. I mean, there's probably only a handful of quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe ever, who can complete multiple, significant passes to little dudes like that are over the top too. Like we watch Brady do it across, but Mahomes putting touch to a guy that's 5'7" over the top, it's Mahomes, man. I mean, that's what that's why we talk about him the way we do, because we expect that shit. Now,
dude, I feel like Pat Mahomes is like fucking Jackie Chan out of the pocket. Like he's just so fucking all over the place, but he's gonna be successful, right? Like he's gonna look like he's in big fucking trouble, and then he's successful.
I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
I don't want trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he fucking jumps through a plane window and beats up 46 guys with a toothpick.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's Mahomes. And especially without Tyreek Hill, he's sitting there. He's got toothpicks for receivers.
It's the original Rush Hour. If you're not watching the original Rush Hour right now, you're missing out.
Aaron Alta says Tony Parker in the paint. I'll do you one better. I feel like he's more like Ginobili in the paint.
Because
he's
I like that.
With the nutmeg, the passing game. Yeah, for sure. It's for sure. You're on the right track there. I just don't like French people.
He just throws some shit sometimes, and he's like, I hope my receiver turns around.
Drills him in the fucking helmet.
Well, you didn't practice that. If you did that in practice, it'd be full on varsity blues. You'd be getting bitched at. It'd be like throwing the ball to Billy
hit the
Bob.
Whistle off your fucking helmet.
right.
Fucking Eddie, run the fuck. What the fuck is a oop to you?
Yeah, the oop to you.
All right, what else do we want to say about this Kansas City Tampa Bay game before we roll?
This was you said it perfectly, Raul. It was a weird game. It wasn't just a weird game for Kansas City. This game felt like Tampa Bay couldn't do anything right, and then you come down the stretch and somehow they've got an opportunity late that if they get a stop, they could turn this thing into kind of an onside kick, might make a difference in this game. Brady's got his weapons back. That defense looked atrocious. They looked so good for fucking 3 weeks. And then and then suddenly in the second half, they kind of figure things out. Mike Evans really starts to take over the way he can body people up. Bucs fans shouldn't panic about this game and say, oh, the season's over. That was a game that they should have lost by 30, the way they played for most of this game. Brady with the fumble. They had the fucking fumble on the opening kickoff. You can't fumble the opening kickoff.
I feel like the entire game I kept finding myself thinking, this is something that I would be seeing in the fucking preseason. This is a preseason game because they're shaking off rust.
But then the Chiefs just kept going down the field, and you saw Mahomes make a couple of those backyard plays. To me, Andy said it perfectly. He just throws it and says, "I hope my receiver turns around." He gets away with a lot of craziness,
practical jokers,
because of how much he moves the pocket and forces guys to cover for a long time. Very weird game, but NFC teams should not watch this game and say, "Yeah, the Bucs are out of this thing," because they should have lost by 30 in any other scenario.
Yeah.
My guy jumped in the chat like he's been in fucking prison for 10 years. Just got on Facebook today. First time.
Feeling good.
He said I forgot the guy's name from Impractical Jokers, but you look like him who hates cats or afraid of them.
He's still
I'm guessing
all
it's
orange.
I'm looking at the cast. I'm guessing it's Sal. I've never seen Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, you kind of do look a little like
Sal Connell.
2 out of 10. That's it. My guy jumped in the chat with the fucking orange jumpsuit on and the fucking the shower sandals. Look at him. The official red.
Yeah. My man had to trade hella commissary for this fucking Twitch stream here.
Right. We're sorry, but we like the fact that you eating rolled up ramen noodles and Slim.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, dude. Shoot me your inmate number. I got your books. All right. I've been watching a lot of prison shows lately, so I kind of know some of the lingo here. All right, onward. Detroit. All of us here getting fucking upset. Geno Smith compares.
It's gonna happen again.
Continues to
fucking Geno doing.
Why the fuck do we keep picking the Lions? What are we doing here?
Listen, I need less of that in my life. Okay, Detroit is close, dude.
They are close. They're close to giving up 50 every week.
They're close to giving up 50. You're right, but they almost put up 50. So again, the stat remains, as I said before.
I was a little proud this week,
as you should be.
Without Swift, without Amon St. Brown, without GJ Chark, they still scored a shitload of points.
Injury ridden. They have the number 1 scoring offense and the number 32 scoring defense in the NFL. Awesome. That is the most fucking Detroit thing that can happen, though.
It is.
So onward to
2000 Rams did it.
To Jets, taking down the W, taking down the Steelers at Heinz Field, 24-20. Gary on Victory Island there, and then all of us unanimous as we expected. As we expected, 24-27. Pats versus Green Bay, and a close victory here. And let's get to the surprising one. This one kind of stumped us all here. So Rams at San Francisco. It apparently has appeared that Jimmy G has entered the chat. And it also appears as though the Rams offense has exited the chat. So I'm not really sure what the fuck happened there.
They never
the defending Super Bowl champions getting absolutely fucking embarrassed. I was very confused by this entire game. Like there was no point where I was like, I saw this coming. So let's start with you, Gary. Make the rounds.
Yeah, judging by what San Fran had looked like for a couple of weeks with Jimmy G, he looked rusty. Looked like he was going to need more time to kind of kick the rust off, and he was going to face Aaron fucking Donald. I just thought that the Rams were going to be able to do a little more against the Niners defense, and they did move the ball. They just couldn't finish drives. They ended up with 3 field goals. Stafford threw a really uncharacteristic interception in the plus territory. It still looks like the Rams are in preseason mode, and they are still feeling the effects of the fact that they didn't play anybody in the preseason. They had a lot of turnover on the offensive line. They also had a bit of turnover on the defensive side of the ball in the backfield. Defensive backs, they turned over quite a bit. They don't yet look like what I think the Rams are going to look like later in the season. But with Jimmy G looking like he's got control of that offense again and he's kind of kicked the rust off, I wonder if it's going to be a little too late for the Rams here in this division, because I feel like the Niners are just going to start checking off wins if they can get Deebo Samuel going again, which they did against the Rams. He looked like a fucking monster. Ayuk looks like a good complementary piece, and they're running the ball. They're always going to run the ball with Kyle Shanahan. So this was, to me, kind of a wake-up call for me as somebody who still thought the Rams were going to be a contender in the NFC, that maybe not. Maybe there's a hangover. Maybe it's the turnover. Maybe it's the fact that they didn't play any preseason. They're really struggling. It didn't look good for them, and the Niners looked pretty good. Looks like they're clicking now that Jimmy G's had a couple of games to really get his feet under him.
So, Andy, before we get to you, we've been rated by Red Hood as far as our appearances. So one is Gary, 2 is Andy, and 3 is me. And I mean, obviously,
let's go. No homo, right?
Your boy's doing all right, you know.
Actually, one is Andy.
One is
right
left.
Is one. Right is 1, left is 2.
Oh, right is 1, left is 2. Oh, wow.
Yeah, whatever. It's the hat.
Listen.
Nobody likes the brim style.
Yeah, I think it's probably the plain shirt too.
It's fucked up, dude.
Anyways,
I appreciate you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but
I don't think anybody in the NFL wants any part of tackling Deebo Samuel.
Dude, he's a fucking tank. Andy?
Yeah, Gary, you kind of push in all the numbers here. I don't know, man. The Rams just, I don't like what they did something last year, and I disagree that it's a turnover. Like they haven't lost much. There's not a lot there. I mean, Von Miller, sure,
OBJ.
that's a big thing. We got Wagner on board, and I mean them. I'm not.
He looks slow.
Yeah, chill out.
Well, unless he's
looks so slow.
tackling fans.
Yeah, dude, that fucking fan got
then
his
he looks
shit lit up, dude.
How and I just the Odell Beckham thing, fine. I don't know. Stafford doesn't look good. That's probably the biggest thing to it. Is Matt Stafford looks pretty fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's getting his numbers.
They cannot get Allen Robinson going.
No, they can't. They can't get a lot going. I mean, Cooper Kupp's a given because he's getting the ball 20 times a game.
How much of this is attributed to the offensive scheme versus just Stafford's inability?
I think it's all McVay. It is.
Yeah.
It has to all be McVay because I mean, Matt Stafford's not in his third year, right? I mean,
right.
We're talking a guy that's in like his 13th season. He's comfortable playing football. He's in his second season in the offense with his receivers. We're seeing it with Kupp.
We're no longer talking about the elbow.
Again, I agree that there's something wrong with Stafford, but I think that I think it's more of a McVay thing, and people are going to call me a Stafford apologist, and I may be. However, that and the defense sucks too. What's going on in the defense? It's supposed to be maybe the best defense in the league, if not a top 5 or 3, and they don't look very good. I mean, we saw 15 different players out of 11 miss a tackle on Deebo Samuel the other day. There were guys coming on the sideline, come off the field, onto the field that weren't even in the
I watched
play.
a corner completely bail on the tackle.
I watched an assistant coach come on the field
on the tackle,
fully padded and miss it.
You would have thought it was Tom Brady running up to make that tackle because he fucking about-faced right as Samuel was making the cut in his direction.
Jalen Ramsey's a good tackle DB.
Missed that too.
Like he didn't even look like you want to tackle him, and I understand, but like
smoke.
We feel you. Like if I'm me, I can say that you can't. I saw a QB coach. He came on the field with like a gator, and he didn't even want to tackle him. Like it was fucked up, man. Like I don't know, man. Deebo is that dude, I guess, but man. And for the 49ers,
so
we talked about the 49ers. They could either be the worst team or the best team, and we wouldn't bat an eyelash. And that was Trey Lance driven, and that's probably the same for Garoppolo, right?
Yeah.
Sway, let us know in the comments who your team is.
But so
you don't know, Sway.
You mentioned the turnover.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
They had turnover at 2 critical positions on the offensive line, left tackle and center. They lost Von Miller, who's a critical piece of that defense. We're starting to see more of that as this season's gone. They can't.
Yeah, but Von Miller wasn't a critical piece of that defense until he was, and that defense was already nuts. Like I'm not downplaying Von Miller, but I'm that defense was already so fucking good without Von Miller before he got there last year that like we are apologizing for something we shouldn't be. Are we not?
No, that's fair, but you also have to factor in OBJ. They also lost Bobby Trees, who yes, they lost him mid-season last year, but there's some critical pieces to that team that I think they're trying to figure out how everything fits together. Maybe it shouldn't be a big deal, but I think it is.
I'm kind of actually with Sway here. He said we can talk numbers and plays and situations and this and that, but sometimes the team just has your number, and I think that is what the fuck we had. Kyle Shanahan had that fucking
every team
number.
has their number.
So far this year, yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, veteran star magic there,
What are they doing? I mean, they beat up the Cardinals a little bit. They should have lost to the Falcons.
Yep.
That Jalen Ramsey interception, right?
Yep.
They got murdered by the
Bills.
That does not look like a Super Bowl defending team. It does not look like a team who can win their division or even grab a wild card at this point. They look lost.
They do.
Yeah.
So
It's
maybe
great for my fucking fantasy team because I have Stafford as quarterback.
doing well.
All right, so let's jump into salute,
Jared
then
Goff.
preview, then cat facts, mailbag, whatever else we got. So let's jump. So for those of you guys new to the show, thank you guys for tuning in. Sway, Red Hood. Appreciate chatting with you guys. The most important part of our show is that we are a veteran-owned podcast, and we dedicate every episode to a fallen service member. And this episode is going to be dedicated to Army Staff Sergeant Paul Sweeney, who passed away October 30th, 2003, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. He was 32 years old from Lakeville, Pennsylvania, and he was assigned to the 3rd Battalion, 3rd Special Forces Group in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He was killed in an ambush in Afghanistan. Sergeant Paul Sweeney. We have the watch.
So Sway makes a good point in the chat here before we move on to next week's games here. And I think, Andy, you just alluded to it, that like they can be had. They cheat. That's probably the most important piece of this. They cheat. Ramsey's eyes are in the backfield a lot. QBs probably don't fear necessarily some of the things that Ramsey
I think
can
that's
do.
wrong, though. I think QBs do fear Ramsey.
I think they know that they can get him with some double moves and stuff, though.
I think they know.
Hold on. I think first of all, it depends on who the fuck that QB is. Right. I don't think that all QBs, it's not a blanket statement, but there are definitely QBs that know whenever I've got insert name here. If I've got Cooper Kupp, or maybe not Cooper Kupp, bad team, but let's say Stephon Diggs.
No, Cooper Kupp's a good example.
Well, no, yeah, against the same fucking
Diggs.
team, though. My bad. No, but let's say Diggs against Ramsey. And I'm Josh fucking Allen, I am not worried about Jalen Ramsey, bud.
Listen, I think no matter what you do, okay, if you think what the fuck do you have against Samuel L. Jackson? I think if you
Sway,
can,
appreciate you.
If you can. Okay, I don't think any QB, regardless of who they have, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs.
I don't think that applies to those guys, though.
But,
Two of the three you just listed.
But I still think, though, that if you're looking down the barrel of Jalen Ramsey, there's concern. If there's not, then you don't respect your opponent, which is a fool's fucking game.
That's fair, but I think the point
that
they can maybe the fear statement was a little too much, but the fact that the Rams defense can be had, I think we're seeing more of that.
We have seen Ramsey cooked a lot in the last couple of years.
I don't think any cornerback in the NFL today is a true lockdown. I don't know if that exists anymore. I
think that's also fair. Yeah,
but I don't think it can exist though.
It can't. The NFL is
too good. There's too many things complementing the quarterback. There's too many things complementing the wide receiver. There's too many things complementing the offense in general.
Yeah,
and then you also have the superior athleticism. Like if Darrelle Revis played today, we would not look at Darrelle Revis the same way. We wouldn't.
That's fair.
If Deion Sanders played today, though, don't tell Deion this because he's the best to ever do it. He'll still lock up the best today.
Yeah.
In his fucking advanced stage. Like
advanced.
We don't these things don't translate. Like, I mean,
well, not to mention, let's also be real too. If Deion Sanders, we're talking about prime time here.
Yeah, absolutely.
In today's NFL, he's getting a fucking PI call every other play.
Right. I mean, and while he still may be the best, we're just talking the rules that don't favor you. You know, Bill Russell in today's NBA, how much does he impact the game? Not enough.
No.
You know, I mean, it's just Yeah, he'd make the league.
There's
I
a
mean,
whole ass conversation
being
that we can have about Ramsey and the impact, but I definitely agree that position in and of itself has been kind of minimized.
I mean, Ramsey can still be the best player at his position in this day and age.
But the phrase lockdown probably doesn't exist anniemore.
Yeah, it's gone. It's over with.
Yeah.
Because how do you lock down?
Agreed. So let's get through our week 5 matchups without having to jump into it too much. Obviously, we want to be able to jump into these, and then be sure to tune in next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern, when we will debrief our picks here, and we'll be sure to have our folks eat some crow where it's due. So starting off with an island here, and fucking Gary of all people picking Indianapolis to beat Denver at home. I can't even fucking believe you did that. But all of us sitting unanimous here as the Chargers look to bounce back again against the Browns, a not so great Browns team. Gary on another island. Damn, dude. Another island is he's choosing Miami, which, I mean, you've got to know that the 2 is out. So you're just banking on the Jets being the Jets. But me and Andy riding with the Jets this week. And
I think both those islands basically boil down to that. I don't like the Broncos right now. I don't like anything that they're doing. Anything Denver right now is
the idea that you like the Broncos more than Indy makes no sense to me.
Less than Indy, but yeah. I don't like anything the Broncos are doing. I made this pick assuming Jonathan Taylor's going to play. If he doesn't play, I'm probably going to miss this because they have nothing else. The Broncos are fucking atrocious. This to me, I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to make enough plays against the Jets. I don't think the Jets, they're building something, but I don't think that they can beat Miami even without Tua.
And Gary's either going to be like an absolute fucking killer in next week's standings for the season, or he is going
This is going to be a real good or a real bad week.
Or it's going to be a real bad week because he's riding with the Dallas Cowboys to beat the defending Super Bowl fucking champions at home. And I'm not actually opposed to the idea after what we saw last week, but the idea that happened against, I don't know. We're all unanimous here anyways. Tennessee's going to beat the Commanders at home. We're all unanimous in that Minnesota's going to win at home against Chicago. We are unanimous that Tampa Bay will win against the Atlanta Falcons. I already regret that. I really do. I really wish that I had just stuck with Atlanta the last 2 weeks. I would have been fine. Philly is going to beat Arizona at home. Unanimous. We've got a lot of unanimous here. So the Giants, it looks like an easy week here. So Giants at Green Bay, they're not going to win is what we're saying. Detroit going to take down the Pats at home at Gillette. Andy, I appreciate you riding with your team. Good on you to actually be a fucking fan every now and then. And then we're all aboard the Jacksonville train as we're hoping for them to get another victory in Duval against the Texans. And Gary with another fucking. Is there anyone else on islands aside from Gary this week?
I think I'm the only one this week.
I think you might be the only one.
I think you and Andy were in pretty good lockstep. I think so. I think you guys were pretty lockstep.
So Gary riding with Cincinnati, me and Andy riding with Baltimore. This one was a real toss-up for me, and I hate myself for this. I really do. This is the first time I feel like I've gone against Joey B, and I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. This was my biggest waffle of the season, of the week for sure. Buffalo unanimous, winning at home. And New Orleans, you're picking is this your any given Sunday pick here? Or do you have like a viable fucking reason why you think that New Orleans?
Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Jameis Winston should be back for New Orleans. New Orleans defense is one of the probably 5 to 7 best in the league. I don't think Geno's going to put 40 some up against them, and they're home.
Yeah,
that's what it boiled down to for me. They're going to be healthy this week, and they're
still a tough place to fucking win at.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All unanimous here that San Fran, especially after last week, we're going to expect San Fran to get another W against Baker, though
I'm all the way out on Carolina. After all the fucking support I gave them to start the season, I'm all the way out.
Yeah, I am too.
Let me chime in on 2 real quick.
Yeah.
just
Okay.
because we got a little wrapped up here. So I actually picked Miami, and I picked the Cardinals. Yeah.
Did I?
I think what threw you off is Raul used the same color as me.
I may have screwed this overlay up then.
Oh,
You did.
okay, so there's not any islands here.
I knew we were a little fucked up. So I picked the Dolphins over the Jets,
What did I do?
and I picked the Cardinals over Philly.
Okay.
I screwed that up then. That's my
they were the only two though.
Okay. I will fix that before next week's.
I mean,
I think I
blame Raul for using the neon green.
that might have been what threw me off, but
Well, I would say sorry, but I'm not. And last but not least, we're all unanimous here that Las Vegas is going to put the loss back in Las Vegas, and they're going to lose in Kansas City at Arrowhead. And that's your Week 5 matchups. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern to watch us as we either gloat or we eat our fucking crow for our picks. I feel like, Gary, I feel very confident that a lot of your islands you are going to be, just get this man an IV for this crow. We need to go direct main line.
We'll see.
Yeah, I feel pretty
I'm not
good
on as many islands as I thought I was.
Yeah, at first we thought you were on all of the islands.
Yeah.
I started to kind of figure it out right at the end. I was like, I know for sure me and Andy did have some different picks.
Yep. That's on
I
appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, buddy.
I was like, I picked the Jets. I don't remember picking the Jets. So I started to look back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I thought the Cardinals were like my.
So wait, that means I'm on the island for the Jets? Dude,
you are on the island.
That's a fucking island I'm willing to be on.
Hey,
dude.
listen, the Jets island paid off for me last week against the Steelers, so
I'm good with it. I'm absolutely good with
I
it.
I don't think I see enough of a loss between Teddy and Tua.
Yeah.
So then that means Andy's on the island for Arizona.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah.
That would make sense. That was
Yep.
Interesting.
Honestly, Andy, I can't say that I blame you for that. It feels like one of those games that like Philly might just drop it.
Philly,
Arizona might sneak it.
I said it earlier. Philly and Jacksonville have both played a lot of weak teams. The best teams they played were each other. And Arizona, they just feel like underachievers so far. So we'll see.
That could be a sneaky one.
And I think Philly's the favorite. It's just it's an underdog pick for me. They're at home, so
All right, what do we got next on the docket, Gary?
Facts, bud.
All right, let's get it. That guitar is so fucking aggressive, dude.
Yeah, it is. All right, first cap facts of the week.
Deebo Samuel is the toughest tackle in football. I feel like we were already kind of alluding to it.
I felt some dissension from Andy though.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say mine and then step the fuck out of the way here. I'm gonna say cap as long as Derrick Henry is a human being in the NFL. Deebo Samuel will be a very close second or third.
I'm going cap as well. I don't think Debo's second either.
Okay.
I think that I agree with Raul.
Name
Derrick
three
Henry.
people better that harder to tackle than
I didn't say
Deebo
three.
Samuel.
I just said cap.
For fuck's sake. Okay, then who's
three?
two?
I can name two for sure.
Okay,
because I have to. Josh Allen is tougher to tackle than
Oh, that's a good one.
And fuck, man, if you're gonna put me right on the spot, I might have to go.
Fuck yeah, sway.
I might have to go Lamar Jackson too.
For a different reason. For a different reason.
For a very different reason. There might be a case to be
Kyler
made
Murray would be similar.
with fucking our boy Jalen Hurts too. Slippery.
Jalen Hurts is slippery as fuck, dude. He is.
They just
agile.
make ways to get to not be down. I mean, like it's just Kyler Murray run around for 45 minutes.
On a 2-point play.
You ever see the Madden plays where somebody gets on the fucking goal line and they just run all the way back,
backwards,
and they run all the way up, and
it's
then
like the old
all the way
Tecmo
back?
Bowl with Bo Jackson.
Bro, I would have quit. How did you? By the time you got to the 50-yard line, I would have just quit the first time.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck.
You
that.
got to step your cardio game up whenever you're fucking defending
I'm
against
saying
Kyler
Derrick
Murray.
Henry, and then I'm saying Josh Allen, and then Deebo Samuel. I think it's third for me for sure.
I would say that Deebo Samuel is definitely third, only to Derrick and Josh Allen. I don't think Kyler's in that conversation.
Might be the most versatile football player.
Oh, no doubt. He is exactly who they wanted Taysom Hill to be.
No,
it's the fucking truth.
Why did they think Taysom Hill was going to be that though?
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically, what I'm saying is that Deebo Samuel, Taysom Hill is the fucking white Deebo Samuel.
They saw him there and be like, "Yo, this is Deebo."
If I'd said
like
that the other
9
way,
people were like,
racist,
"No, it's not."
And then they paid him anyway.
Yeah. And then they fucking paid him anyways. So if I'd said that the other way, I would have been racist. So that's why I changed that up last minute. So Gary, cap facts?
I'm still slightly cap on this, and it is because of Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah.
But
that's your edge. That's it. That's your two. He's your number two then?
I love the Josh Allen argument. I love the Lamar Jackson argument. The Jalen Hurts, the Kyler Murray. They're slippery. Dude. Josh Allen is a guy who can work angles and scares you with his arm in addition to his feet. So he is hard to contain and corral. But listen, Deebo is, you mentioned the versatility. The places they can get him the ball, he threatens every level of the defense. And once he gets the ball in space, I do think that in open spaces, Deebo Samuel is the toughest tackle in football. Yeah. Derrick Henry in closed spaces, and when he gets ahead of steam, absolutely, dude will snatch your soul. Just ask Josh Norman, ask Earl Thomas, ask Jalen Ramsey when he was in Jacksonville. He will snatch your soul. But Deebo Samuel breaks tackles in places where you just you don't think guys should break those kinds of
his
tackles.
Yards after contact are fucking through the roof.
It's unreal.
Dude.
And for a guy who's a wide receiver to line up in the backfield and be able to run the fuck over defensive linemen, to me, I think it's pretty thin margin here. But it's still Derrick Henry when you're talking about a guy who can just shuck everybody, regardless of who they are. It's still him by a. For me, it's a thin margin.
Fair enough. On to the next one. Cat facts: the Raiders still have time to figure it out. I'm just gonna let this resonate for a second. I can already tell Andy's gonna be pissed at what I'm gonna say. This is facts. They do still have time to figure it out. I think that they are definitely missing a one Coach Bisaccia. I think that they're definitely missing that man, as they fucking should have. But I don't think that it's over for. I think that when you have somebody as elite as Devontae Adams, and you have somebody, and they do have great tools in place, and I do believe that the issues we're seeing are purely from a fucking coaching perspective. Anyways, so with that, I'm gonna say it's facts. They definitely still have time to figure it out. Gary,
the division they play in, this thing's over for them. They have time to figure it out for 2023. Honestly, there are a lot of games left.
I think they still have time to figure it out for a wild card spot. I want to clarify and say that I don't think that they're going to lock down the division by any means, but
we're talking about for a playoff bid, not for winning the division.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Right. No, I
agree,
think that
100%.
they still have time to figure it out for a playoff bid. Now, with that being said, I mean, Sway said it best. The fucking Chargers are on the up. They're on the up and up. So
the reason I say the division that they play in is they still have 2 games against the Chiefs, another game against the Chargers. They're going to play the Broncos one more time. And that's if the Broncos start to figure it out, they're going to be tough. But they've got the Chiefs twice, the Chargers again. They've also still got some tough out-of-division opponents on their schedule. And they're behind the 8 ball in a very tough AFC. I don't think that they have enough games left that I would slate them as winnable based on what I've seen through 4 weeks to say that they're going to win enough games to steal a wild card spot. So for me, this is Cap. Despite I love Derek Carr. I like what the Raiders had last year with Bisaccia. Raul, I think you're 100%. They were playing hard for that dude.
Yeah.
To me, I'm not. Oh shit!
Who talked shit? I just saw that come up.
Yo, throw it back up, please.
Who was it? Who the fuck is that, dude?
That's what you get for. That's what you get for riding that Broncos dick.
So what, dude? Dude, that's Aaron.
Fucking
shit, man.
great.
Like, come on, bro.
Thank you, Aaron.
Your name is Aaron.
He
dude.
deserved every fucking letter of that.
I'm
All right,
Cap
so
on this, though.
it's Cap for Gary. Andy?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have picked on his name. That's not right. That's fucked up. No, I was wrong. Well, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't wrong.
Facts.
Maybe I was wrong.
Carlson is legit.
So either way, man, I think it's Cap, or I think it's facts. Sorry.
Jesus, figure it out. Bud.
I brought the question earlier. I mean, I'm just looking at like what we have to figure here, and I think that nobody's a lock, right? The Chiefs, maybe. Los Angeles looks fucked up. Denver, Aaron's pick, Denver. They look fucked up. Aaron must be a Bills fan. Only Bills fans will hold against you who you picked in the division.
I'm guessing a Cowboys fan. I believe he's from.
I mean, you were riding hard for these Broncos, though.
It wasn't even that hard. I just picked them to win.
You picked them to win the fucking whole thing, dude.
Yeah, but it wasn't right. It wasn't like I wasn't like.
And then you also went. No. You did because you went as far as to say. You also went as far as to say that they were a quarterback away from winning a fucking Super Bowl.
They were.
They still are.
They still are. Right. They still are. They didn't get one. They might be Geno Smith away. Right?
They might be a whole Cooper Rush away, dude.
What is Russell Wilson's problem? Like if we listen, we'll get into that.
Russell Wilson's
week.
problem is him.
I invite Aaron with the E to come on the show. Like we'll go that week, and I mean we'll get it. We could talk because listen, he's a problem. I believe they are a quarterback away.
So
they still are.
So real quick, let's talk about the Raiders real quick. The rest of the rest of their schedule.
Facts.
Yeah, the rest of their schedule.
I think you can figure it out.
Chiefs, Texans, Saints, Jags, Colts, Broncos, Seahawks, Chargers, Rams, Patriots, Steelers, Niners, Chiefs. I mean, there's maybe 4 games that they'll lose.
It's a wild card for me because I think the Chiefs win. I think the Chiefs win the division. The Chargers, I'm not trusting them. Obviously, I'm not trusting Aaron's fucking Broncos, and we'll go from there.
The deflection is fucking unreal. On
He's a good sport.
He took it in stride.
All right. On to the next Cap facts. The Giants will make the playoffs.
How do you guys feel about this?
I mean,
in division.
Sway says I see like 3 wins in there for the Raiders schedule. You and I are gonna have fucking words, Sway.
Maybe 3 give me's.
Yeah.
I think that's what he means. Probably.
I still disagree with that. I mean, they're playing.
They still got to play. They still got to play that division. It's still hard. I mean,
the division is definitely still hard. They have to play the Chiefs a couple times. They got to play
the
Chargers a couple times.
Are easy, but
yeah, keep deflecting, motherfucker. So
I made it a
this is Cap. This is Cap. Period.
Yeah.
So the Giants are not going to make the playoffs. It's not going to happen. So that's all it is. I don't think Daniel Jones has what it takes to fucking make that a viable team, especially in the postseason or even a shot at wild card weekend. I think that with the trajectory we're seeing out of even Dallas and then the Eagles and just in their division, I don't think that the Giants are going to stand a chance here. So, Gary?
They're going to run out of playoff spots, in my opinion. And
Right.
They may win 7 or 8 games. Maybe they get to 9. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now. And Dable is an early candidate for Coach of the Year, in my opinion, the way he's got the Giants playing right now. But it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of Daniel Jones doing things outside the pocket and running the ball. I don't know that that's a
They have to keep his runs
formula.
to like under 20 yards.
Yeah, because he'll trip over himself. But like, it's a lot to me right now. It's smoke and mirrors for a team that hasn't really played anybody yet that should be considered a super viable threat in the league. The Titans is probably the closest they've played to a team that they can really hang their hat on and say, this is a quality win. It to me, we're going to see over the next, 4 weeks, we're going to start to see who the Giants are, because they've got the Packers, the Ravens, and the Jaguars back to back. And then if they can bounce back from that tough schedule and knock a Seahawks and a Texans off back to back, you're going to start to see whether or not the Giants are going to have anything for the end of the season. Saquon looks rejuvenated, but we're seeing a lot of trickeration from Dable to make Daniel Jones successful. For me, this is cap. I just don't see where the Giants get enough wins, and they're going to run out of playoff spots. The Packers are going to be there. Dallas and Philly look like they're going to be sustainable and be there. One of those is going to be a wild card team. Maybe someone out of the NFC South, but I think they're just going to run out of playoff spots.
I think we'll definitely see a wild card position or a wild card spot come out of the NFC South for sure. Aaron says, I think all the teams in this division is sus. 100%. We could absolutely see them completely just fall apart at any point in time, because that's the most NFC East thing that could happen, right? So, Andy, let's get to you. Cap or facts, the Giants will make the playoffs?
It's cap. Like, I think they're gonna lose the next 3 games. That's pretty plausible to me. And then, like Gary was saying, they have a couple of come down games after that. We'll see where you're really at, but to lose 3 in a row, even if they lose 2 of those games, I think they lose enough grip. Philly's playing pretty well. I disagree with nobody being that good. I think Philly's a pretty good team, so we'll see where we're at.
Sus. I think there's question marks.
I don't think they're sus at all. I mean, I think if you want to put the label sauce, you can put it on any team. I mean, if you're going to put it on Philly, I think you have to put it on any team. Philly's not sauce. Yeah, they're not your Broncos. I mean, if you're going to ride that whole thing all season, that's great.
I don't know, dude. You put your whole fucking season on this team, so you were gonna have to eat this crow all goddamn season. But
who did you pick?
Buffalo.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Great.
Hey, I'm doing just fucking fine.
Yeah, okay, because you got a bunch of fucking Bills fans who tune into this show.
And because
you're doing great based on
fine.
that.
And because the team's doing fine.
Fine, they're doing okay.
You took a gamble on Russell Wilson, bud. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Hey, bro,
fine.
Hang a left, hang a right, and then you will be out the fuck of my face with that shit. On to the next cap facts. Miss me with that bullshit. On to the next. The Jags will make the playoffs. Facts. In whatever capacity that is, they will make the playoffs. I think that they completely have the ability to get it together. It will be a gamble. It will be a fucking close one because of teams like the Eagles and Dallas. We'll see what they look like whenever that gets their shit together. But, Gary?
This is cap. I just look at what the AFC offers right now.
AFC.
I think you're going to get 2 teams out of the AFC East. I think you're going to get 2 teams out of the AFC West, and you're probably going to get 2 teams out of the AFC North, and that's every wild card position. I think the AFC South is a 1-bid division, and I Right now, I like what I saw from the Titans the last 2 weeks, getting the running game going. I think that the Titans are going to get back to, yeah, if they win the division, I think that's how they get in. I don't think they're going to win the division, to be honest. I just think the Titans are going to seize control of that division here. They've got the running game going. Derrick Henry's a difference maker. The defense is playing a little better. So for me, this is cap, but they're going to win enough games that everybody's going to be pretty hyped on the Jaguars going into next year.
Andy?
I struggle with this one. I think it's cap. I think they have to they have a few moderately okay games to go the next few, and maybe if they go 3-0 against teams like New York and the Texans and the Colts, that's fine. But then they play Denver, Aaron's team. They play the Raiders, Chiefs, Ravens. Like, that's a tough fucking stretch. So, yeah, no, it's cap.
All right, what else we got?
One more cap facts.
One more cat facts. John Harbaugh is too aggressive for his team's good. I'm going to say that this is facts, but I'm going to rephrase it and say John Harbaugh is too aggressive for his quarterback's good.
I like that.
And I think that's what it really comes down to. Ultimately, you assume all risk when you have a running quarterback. You assume all risk whenever you have an elite quarterback, somebody as prolific as who Lamar Jackson is. He is a fucking nightmare to defend. He is fully capable of slinging the pigskin down the range. He is fully capable of shattering your ankles, even if your name is fucking Jalen Ramsey. He is fully capable of destroying anybody and anybody that is in his way. However, John Harbaugh is going to be the fucking demise of that man. So, yes, facts, 100% he's too aggressive, but he is too aggressive for Lamar Jackson. He needs to exercise some type of constraint, be a little bit more reserved. Let this man sit in the pocket, protect him, just like we bitched about the Cincinnati offense needing to defend Joey Burrow and protect him. We need to do the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Protect this man. Give him a fucking pocket to operate out of. Jesus Christ. So, Gary, on to you.
This is facts. I didn't take it the quarterback angle, but I don't disagree with you that they do put him in harm's way a lot. Sometimes you can be too cute, and that's what he did this past weekend against Buffalo. Take the field goal and let your defense play, go to overtime if you do give up points. But that interception, that's a momentum swing, and Buffalo rode that momentum down to the game-winning field goal. So to me, that's a coach out-coaching himself in moments like that, and we've seen this from John Harbaugh in the past. It works out sometimes, but it does cost his team games far too often for my liking. So for me, this is facts. Sorry,
Andy?
Gary, I have to assume that we're speaking of overthinking the play calling and not the usage of Lamar Jackson.
For me, it's going for it on fourth down there, that
Right.
far from the end zone. When you're at home, you have an opportunity to take a 3-point lead.
The play calling.
Yes.
So listen, when I looked at it earlier,
Decision-making.
there was two ways I could take it. I could take it as the plays called last week and other times, because you pointed out there's a bunch of other times, or the usage of Lamar Jackson. You're not talking about that.
I'm not. I guess
Right.
maybe I should have gotten clarification in the
Sure.
group chat. This was my question. I should have said.
I know. I didn't think you were. So yes, no, it's facts. I think it's overplay calling is what's happening here.
Yeah.
I feel like Harbaugh's a very good coach. He has the play in his hand. He has the winning play in his hand. He has the maybe winning play in the middle, and then he has the losing play on the right, and he just picks the losing fucking play constantly.
Yeah.
like the detrimental play to his team over and fucking over again. Yep. So yeah, I gotta go facts.
He's got the fucking play action on 4th and 8. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, dude, he's like, I don't even know, man. He's like the guy who has the game won, and he's like, no,
yeah,
like I can only win by 5, but I'm gonna win by 25.
I can only imagine that John Harbaugh's play calling is like what you would see if you gave an amateur Madden player access to an NFL team, because he does take a lot of risks, man.
Imagine he had a brother named Jim, and he had a little bit of that in him.
Yeah.
Really, though, like, nobody used to question whether or not John Harbaugh was, like, the cocky or the overcompensating person because we had Jim.
Right.
Now that we don't have Jim, we're kind of like, maybe they're related.
Maybe.
You know, like,
maybe they're brothers.
Maybe they're cut from the same genetical cloth.
Maybe low key, John is a little Jim, though. Because I never would have thought that about him. I always used to like John. I'm like, man, John's a stand-up guy.
The fucking Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys, dude. They're wilding.
He goes out back and he fucking bangs the line. And he's like, fuck these bitches. as where Jim would do it in front of you.
Yeah.
Jim would show you.
Yeah.
John's like nice about it.
John was low key wild, and now he's no longer low key.
Oh, dude. The dude. Like, listen, he never had a footstone to stay, but I don't know, man. I can't help for the last few years to think that, like, his brother is similar, but he's just really good in public.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you know, how you handle the public is not Jim's forte.
No, never was.
John's a little bit better in a post.
John can come pick your daughter up for prom. Jim, nope.
But here's the thing, though, is that now we've learned that they're gonna do the same shit.
Right. Well, we know this. Now we know this. Protect your daughters, guys.
You know what I mean? Hide your kids.
You get a Harbaugh showing up at the door at the no-fly zone.
All right, Gary, what do we got next?
Dan K.
Let's get it. Damn K is a segment where we like to give props. We like to be a little positive from time to time on this show. So we'll dedicate something to someone, and this is our Damn K segment. So Gary, we'll go to you. Who's your Damn K for this?
I'm gonna give some praise to somebody that I like to be very very counter culture when it comes to Mr. Patrick Mahomes, because all of these quote unquote no look throws that everybody praises him for, yada yada yada, I'm often the contrarian and I say, look, dude, he was looking at the guy, had his head right. I'm often the contrarian. However, the play that he made at the goal line where he flipped the ball up over defenders to a running back in the back of the end zone was a thing of fucking beauty. That was unbelievable. Backyard football at its finest. Patrick Mahomes against other professional players, hit him with the fucking spin move, put him in the washing machine, launched the ball up over a really good defense. That Bucs defense was really good entering the game, and I think they're still going to be really good, but Mahomes was on one, especially on that play. So for that, Irish Patty Mahomes. Damn, okay?
Irish fucking Patty Mahomes, dude. And for the millionth time, dude, he was not looking at that receiver.
Yeah,
but let's move on. There's your Tony Parker reference, Aaron. That was a fucking Tony Parker finger roll into the end zone. Flint, who's your damn K for this week?
Oh, fuck, man. Speaking of not wanting to look at somebody, I watched Good Morning Football the other day.
Yeah.
And damn K, where the fuck did you go?
Hate to see it.
No, I'm just kidding. So that my damn kid is Jared Goff. Damn. Listen, I killed this dude last year.
Yeah.
Terrible. Worst fucking feet in the NFL as
Mhm.
far as the quarterback's concerned.
Facts.
Pockets, terrible. Feet, awful, dude. Like,
No
what
cap.
are you doing?
Not an ounce of cap.
I don't know what happened between last year and this year. Maybe Dan Campbell
That
cloned
fucking
him
MCDC
or some
offense,
shit.
baby.
But Jared Goff looks like a completely different person.
Yep.
He's moving. His feet look okay. He responds well. Listen, Detroit's got a good offensive line. If Detroit has nothing else, they have a good offensive line. But the way Goff is responding to plays and picking up open guys, like, this team is still not terribly talented. I know everybody's like on the Amon St. Brown, like that's the train right now. And it's great. I love the kid. But like overall that offense isn't crazy. We got DJ Chark, Josh Reynolds, there's DeAndre Swift. That offense is capable, but Goff is making them run, and I got to give the guy props. So damn K, because we probably won't be doing this in a few weeks.
Fair enough.
He did. I like it. I like it. I do like it. That's the comment of the night.
Yes,
that is
gold. All right, I'm pinning that one.
Space Jam, somebody's fucking powers, dude.
That's fucking gold.
That is very fitting.
So my damn K is gonna kind of go to a two-parter here. It's gonna go to two people, same position, different teams, but the fucking expecting the unexpected here. It's going to Cooper Rush and it's going to Geno Smith. Holding the teams down, keeping them afloat. Geno, continuing to have the start because there's really nobody, sliding up into that seat eventually. But, Cooper Rush holding the team down, keeping Dallas relevant in the playoff picture in the NFC. And, despite all the odds, despite the fact that, they did chalk him up, they did write him off, and he ain't right back. That was Geno, but still, I'm applying the same there for both of them. So, damn K, it's got to go for both of them. Just doing their fucking thing, just drowning out the noise, getting out there and producing. Gotta love it. Damn K. So, let's get to one of my favorites, and this is congrats, Brian. Fucking down by the river. So all right, Gary, let's get to you first, dude. Which Brian are we congratulating for you?
Yeah, I don't want to be too obvious with this one, but it's the Dolphins kind of in general. All of the nonsense from the offseason, the tampering with Brady, the Brian Daboll situation, which inspired this whole segment, replacing a segment that we had before. Yeah. And then the Tua situation, and whatever went down and whatever process broke down, the Miami Dolphins failed. Mike McDaniel failed Tua Tagovailoa because even if he's cleared through protocol, your responsibility, and I'm going to reference something that Mike Tomlin said when he kept Ryan Clark out of a potential playoff impacting game against the Denver Broncos at Mile High, after Ryan Clark had almost died because of his sickle cell trait the previous time they played at Mile High. Ryan Clark went to a doctor, got cleared to play, and Mike Tomlin still told him, I'm not putting you in this game because my responsibility is to make sure that you go home to your family after this game. Mike McDaniel saw what Tua looked like on that field. Mike McDaniel most likely saw his eyes when he came off the field. I'm hanging a lot of blame on Mike McDaniel for this because at times you have to protect the player from himself, and they should have done that. And for that, in addition to everything else that went on with the Dolphins around this whole situation, I say congrats, Brian.
Andy?
My congrats, Brian, is the Baltimore Ravens. You had really good shots at beating the Bills and the Dolphins. Blew it up. The situational defense, atrocious. And we're talking John. Like, get it together, bud. I don't know what else to say other than your offense is giving you everything they have. The defense is giving you everything they have. Your situational coaching, it's killing the fucking team against big wins. Tua what? What Tua go for?
460 something.
891 yards. Like,
yeah.
And then they were
games too, though. They're up 17 against Buffalo this weekend too.
Yeah, they recover a little bit, and then they go against Buffalo. And listen, I understand. I do. I'm on social media. I saw people pissed about the calls late. The discrepant. So we talked about this a little earlier, Gary. The discrepancies in the amount of calls in the fourth were like 4-1 or something. But, however, like, win the game. You're there to win the game. You had won the game.
Yeah, basically.
For all intents and purposes, you had won the game. Baltimore cannot hold on to a win. We've seen it twice against two really good teams. This is a team that can be undefeated.
With feather in your cap wins against Miami and Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
right. They like it was like 20-3 and whatever. What was
31
it like?
31
to like
or something.
13 or 14, yeah.
With like 7 minutes left too.
Like crazy, yeah. Tua scored fucking 9 touchdowns in like 21 seconds. Like, come on, guys, hold it. And we have one. I think everybody would agree we have one of the best head coaches in the NFL on the Ravens sideline. So let's figure it out.
Yeah, real quick, the penalties thing. I watched the last 2 drives of that game, and that
right.
If anyone's complaining about the roughing the passer call, the guy stops and then goes and hits Josh Allen. No matter how hard he hit him, you knew you shouldn't be hitting him, and then you went and did it anyway.
Yeah, it was a conscious decision to
right. Like,
and we talked about this the other night. Like, I don't know where I simply looked at there was a Ravens thread, and they said the discrepancies where the penalties were called within the last. They didn't bitch about when they were called. So to me, it was so out of bounds. Like, I didn't know where to go with it. That's what I said. But either way, like, I was in a bar with a Ravens fan. I said this earlier to you guys. I didn't hear him bitch at all.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him one time be like, what the fuck is happening? You know, in the end. I mean, he was pissed.
Sure.
Pissed about the Ravens, but it is what it is. Also worth noting, 20-some Bills fans left the bar at halftime.
Just in case you didn't hear him say that the first time. Or
Good
the
look,
second,
guys.
Or the
Good look, guys.
Third.
That's the first time I said it, dickhead.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Gary.
It's not.
Thank you. Anyways, it's fucking seconded. You said it at least twice.
Well, they're trashed. Worst fan base in the world.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyways, onward. My congrats, Brian, is actually going to be congratulations to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Look, hide your kids.
Hot mom?
Hide your kids because he'll kiss them in the mouth. His wife's already hidden. Hide your Surface tablets because they're all in fucking trouble.
That's shit.
My man has lost 2/3 of his net worth potentially. He is married to the game that he is no longer going to be a Super Bowl champion in. I think in his mind, he envisioned this kind of John Elway, I'm going to win the ring again, and then I'm going to call it. And it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The Bucs are not going to win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady as their quarterback. And that's a fucking bold take, and I'm cool with it. I said what I said. I don't give a fuck about the receiving core. I think that this is going to fuck him up a lot worse than anyone else is expecting it to. And if it doesn't, then he's the most heartless human being on earth.
He's not human.
He's the most heartless human being on earth. So with that, I think that in the last week, we've already kind of seen the rumors, obviously, in the Twitter sphere, everything that's been cycling around. What's happening with Tom Brady is a fucking problem, period. The man is married to the game, period. And it's going to cost him everything.
But does he care about the John Elway thing? Yeah, I mean, he's 10 times the quarterback John Elway was.
I'm not talking about the comparison directly. I'm just talking about winning a Super Bowl and retiring on a Super Bowl.
The walk-off. But does he
There's
care?
a reason why he unretired last year.
I don't think he cares about that.
I think he does. I think it's the only reason he's still a quarterback in the NFL right now.
I think you're wrong.
Is because he wants another Super Bowl win before he gets out.
Well, I think he wants another Super Bowl win.
And I think that
I don't think it has anything to do with the Elway thing.
No,
the Elway was just a rough comparison. You're reading too far into the Elway.
Yeah, fuck you. But.
Yeah, it's the walk-off, Gary, or senior. It is the walk-off. He wants the walk-off, and he doesn't have that anymore.
He could have had the walk-off
2 years ago.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. He didn't fucking try to retire until last season, and then he regretted it because
he went back-to-back because they brought everybody back last year.
Yep.
The injuries fucked them.
What's a fear of retirement, though? I don't understand.
The Florida man.
I get you, but I don't get you. Like, I come to your barbecue, but I don't know if I'd eat the brisket.
I'm surprised you guys even fucking know what brisket is.
Whoa.
You don't make brisket?
That's blasphemous.
No, I said I'm surprised you even know what brisket is.
Yeah, but why? You don't make
blasphemous.
it?
No, because you guys don't have good barbecue up there.
What do you
I don't
mean?
even have to
Wait. Based on what, though?
Based on the fact that he's from
that's
Texas.
like me blindly saying.
The only thing he's based that on is the fact that he's from Texas.
You don't have good pizza?
I mean, probably not in comparison to New York.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Pizza's easy. Pizza's easy, so is brisket. It's all easy food. Listen, I have a problem when everybody says this shit because like people are like, oh, nobody makes pizza well. Pizza's easy food.
Oh no, I mean,
so is brisket. Brisket's easy as shit.
Pizza and barbecue are they're two similar things, and there's a fucking million ways to make it.
But I could get a 10-year-old to make brisket. It's easy. Shit ain't hard to make. You know what's hard to make is like.
I think this is a great point. Hour 42 in, I think we've had enough.
You know what's hard to make? Pasta. Make pasta. Pasta's hard to make.
Yeah. You mean like from scratch, right?
Right.
And say boiling water is not difficult.
No, we're not talking
Kraft mac and cheese, baby.
We're not talking Barilla.
Al dente.
Goofball. Jesus Christ.
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Barilla noodles in the blue pack. Fuck.
That's the fancy one, right?
No. See, this is what I have to deal with.
Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts, real quick?
Yeah.
Gary.
Nah, I've said my piece.
Fair enough.
We're off the rails with Barilla.
Andy.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
We did it, boys. Another good one. Thanks to all the new ones. Red Hood, Sway. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And, of course, the OGs. Senior, Althouse. Always good to see you, boys. We'll see you guys next week. Tuesday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time as we debrief our Week 5 picks. We appreciate you guys tuning in, as always. Be sure to DM us your questions, even if it's just fantasy picks. You got trouble picking up your fantasy lineup? Be sure to send us a DM. Comment on anything we post on our page. Say, hey, I got a question for the mailbag. We'll throw it in. We'll read it out on air. We'll shout you out so you can be famous on the social media sphere because we have such a massive following. We have tens of followers. So Anyways, from all of us here at Backyard Sports Media, this is the Backyard Blitz brought to you by Backyard Sports. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Fucking out of here.